Say something for the camera. Say it. Okay. That's what he was saying for the camera. Hello, guys, and welcome. If you don't know me, you should. It's his birthday. Say happy birthday. Anyway, hello. Welcome. And I'm just kidding. You shouldn't know me if you don't know me. This is my first video. Sorry, y'all. But I don't know what possessed me. Actually, I do know who possessed me. Exactly who. Jesus is possessing me to post this because he keeps on telling me that he's going to use my voice. So I'm here. I'm here, y'all. I made it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I made it. Anyways, I'm here to, I guess, just share my testimony with you guys and how I got to not know of Jesus, but accept Jesus as my God, as my Savior. So here I am to spread the good news. No, I promise, guys, bear with me. I just want to start off by giving some background knowledge. So I was born of a evangelist mother and a Catholic father, but I did lean towards my mom's religion a lot more. So I grew up going to church every week as well as Bible study every week my whole life up until I want to say maybe once I hit high school, I stopped going as much just because my mom traveled for work and she was gone a lot. So I had really no one to push me or take me, to be honest, to these things. So I kind of just was in and out. I was still there. I still, like, if it was offered, I 100% would go. But I want to say in junior year of high school, I actually turned to witchcraft. So that was definitely an experience. I could make a whole separate video on how I got delivered for that from that and how I got to where I am now after it. So growing up, for some reason, people who very much struggled, for some reason, those were the people that always came to me. It was always the people that I had closest to me, for some reason, were people who were either very angry or just very lost in their own ways or very depressed. I would just attract those people somehow, some way. I would just always go to the bathroom in high school and there'd be some girl like on the floor crying, or just people that I would make friends with. A lot of the time it came from those kind of conversations of like their hopelessness. And I feel like I was always a healer growing up, and I love the feeling of giving someone a word of wisdom that they may have never heard, and seeing them have life back in their eyes might be the most fulfilling feeling that there is, truly, to see someone connect the dots and kind of realize like, oh, like I'm worried about the wrong things, I'm putting my focus on the wrong things. So I always had that calling to help people, to talk to people and give advice and give my word. And Jesus truly blessed my tongue in that sense of being able to adapt to every person I talk to, and make them feel seen. And I don't know why, maybe 95% of the people that I've met, even if it's just a brief encounter, really open up to me. And I always have this conversation with my friends, like if they notice that, and they always notice that people just so easily trust me with their life and their situations, even the embarrassing stuff that they probably shouldn't tell anyone. They tell me, and it's truly because I am judge free when it comes to, if you want to tell me or you're going through anything. I really am. I feel like I have no room to talk, although I don't think I've made horrible life choices, but the most damage that I've done in this life is to myself, which I feel like should be the easiest person to not damage, because my whole life is just trying to live for me. So if I couldn't even do that, like I really can't judge people for what they do out of emotions or out of helplessness. Like I really can't judge you, because I feel like we've all been there. And at the same time, when we're so stuck in our ways and you think that the world is against you, that's the worst feeling ever. And I would never want to make someone feel like they're too messed up or dark to talk to me. And I never want someone to feel that way. So I kind of made it my mission at one point where I would just look for those people too. Like I would just pray, like, God, whoever needs my help today, like send me over. And he would, trust me, he would. And so kind of want to apply that into myself, because for the longest part of my life I suffered from depression and anxiety from the 3rd grade up until last year. So after my parents got divorced, it was a really messy divorce, and it was very intense, and it was very strong, let's just say, messed up, just so many things. And for some reason, I blamed myself, and I blamed like what I could have done. And I saw everyone around me. I was a really big family girl, so seeing all my cousins, like their parents not split up, but it was my parents splitting up, really confused me. I didn't understand it, and it made me super, super, super depressed. And then my childhood dog died, and all at the same time. So I went. That's where it kind of started for me. And because mental health really isn't talked about with Hispanic, or I think most foreign parents, they're kind of just the thug it out and that's just life kind of vibe. I never got the help I needed. So because of that, it created a lot more problems with my physical and my mental health. It gave me a severe anxiety. It gave me a lot of eating disorders, um, and just things like that that they may seem small or not small, but something that everyone goes through causes a lot of different issues for so many different people. And it was to the point where I was passing out at least once a week. I wasn't eating. I was just super depressed. My hair was falling out. I wasn't really taking care of myself. I just had no purpose. So my mom calls me and she's like, "Hey, I've been talking about moving to Vegas," which she had, but I was in high school, so I was like, I'm not gonna move in the middle of senior year. So she was like, "You're graduated, just come check it out." It was September of 22. Come check it out. You're done with school, like just see if you like it. I checked it out, I loved it, and I moved. And that move was 2023, the summer. And that was the most humbling experience of my life. I went from being the biggest social butterfly, and anyone that knows me personally can account to this. Anywhere from middle school to high school, social anxiety feared me. I was friends with everyone. I could make friends with a wall if I really, really wanted to, like truly. And conversations was just so easy for me to listen and to have and to make. So because I was just locked at home during the summer and I was there by myself with my family, and Vegas is strict, so you can't really do much when you're 21. I mean, when you're not 21. So I was just at home every single day with my cat and my family, that I went back to church after turning to witchcraft after a really long time. I was trying to manifest the whole world, and I was trying to heal my scoliosis with my crystals and just so many things, just so many things. I was just focused on the wrong person to go to. And so when my mom offered me to go to church again, I immediately was like, "Oh my god, we're going tomorrow. Let's go." So I've always been that way. Even when I wasn't going to church, the second that someone mentions going to church, I'm like, "I'm there. I'm there. I'm going. We're going." I've always loved it. I was at a point in my life where Jesus was truly like my only friend, and I was also in that era of social media where I was getting guided by, Girls Gone Bible, and I was watching a lot of George Janko and all these different podcasters, and I just and Cliff and Stewart, Johnny Chang as well, he's super good. Just so many different people that I truly, truly looked up to, that I was like, I want to be these people, like I truly do. So I gave church a shot again, and I went, and it was beautiful. I loved the church I went to. I went to ICLV in Las Vegas, Nevada, with Father Mason, or Pastor Mason. He's amazing. I love him. Um, he really like truly brought me back to like that sense of serving my community, and just remembering how glorious people who serve God is. Like you go to church, and at mass, like people are dancing, and you just feel the Holy Spirit flow through people. It's amazing. And so I went, and immediately after, my mom like comes back and she was like, "Hey, so they're having baptisms like next month, like do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to get baptized," because I never, in Christian churches, I think it's a little bit different from Catholic, where there's not this, it's not that it's not a big thing, but there's not first communion or anything like that. There's just, you have a presentation to God, where it's like you kind of just present your children to God. And then after that, when you decide to get baptized, it's an acknowledged baptism, so it kind of has to be your choice. Some parents don't follow that. Some parents do baptize the children when they're really small, but usually you do it when they're a bit older and they want to get baptized. And I'm truly lucky that I got that experience, because getting baptized because you want to is such a different situation, and just a different feeling. And it was the most beautiful experience. Like when I truly tell you that whatever version of me that anyone knew me as in that moment or in the past, I am 10 times as pure as who I was before. and it truly washed me purely. It washed me completely, and I feel like in that moment that's what I really needed. But if you guys don't know, when you get baptized, the following weeks or days afterwards, even months, you get a lot of spiritual attacks. So almost immediately after I got baptized, I fell right back into sin just as hard as I ever did before, if not harder. And I was sinning left and right like crazy, and I didn't know why. Truly, I didn't understand it. I just did it, and I just felt really guilty about it to the point that I was bedridden for 3 days. Didn't guys? I didn't even shower. Like it was bad. I felt so guilty. I felt like I just did my big one with baptism, going in that pool, getting dunked, and I just I'm going back to my old ways. I'm being a hypocrite, and then I realized like that's what the enemy wanted. Like imagine how hard the enemy is laughing at me right now because I'm here thinking that I was gonna get saved and I was gonna become this big leader one day, and not one day, but I was gonna become right after I got baptized, and I was gonna do so much, and then I just fell right back into my old life. And it was kind of like a back and forth between that. I still had a good heart, but I was just making really bad choices for myself. So half of the year goes by, and I get a few family deaths. And at this point in my life, I had honestly finished school, makeup school, and I was just so lost in the world. And I knew I wanted to follow God, and I knew I wanted to do something for the church, and I knew that was calling my name, but I didn't know where to start. And so I kind of just decide, like, you know what? I am done. I'm done with this voice in my head that doesn't allow me to grow. It doesn't allow me to become who I want to be. I want to get rid of that voice. So I said, Jesus, please, like, why do I keep on coming back to this version of myself? Like, I don't want to be depressed anymore. I don't want to be bedridden. I don't want to be this person. But how do I not when that's all I've known? And he just goes and tells me, just follow my lead and I will guide you and I will carry that cross for you. And I'm like, but Jesus, like, sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Sometimes it feels like I am by myself in this. And he's like, because you're so stuck in your own ways that you refuse to tell me what's going on. And that's so true. I'm so quick to like be the first one to want to help this person and that person. But to myself, when I go through things, I'm so in denial. It's like I'm embarrassed of my own feelings. And even my mom, like growing up when I was like super depressed, she was just kind of like, why didn't you tell me? Like when we were older, when I was older, when I was in my teens, she was like, why didn't you just tell me? And I kind of explained to her, you've seen that quote that's like, how do I tell the person that created my life that I don't want to live it? And I think that's exactly like how I felt about going to Jesus, about the issues that I was having. I was like, I don't want to seem ungrateful. Like I do love my life. I always did. Yeah, I always did love my life. I was just a sad person. And I just felt guilty feeling any way. And I was like, there's so much suffering in the world. And I'm like, it feels very first world issue to have these emotions within me, but I don't want to. I feel like they're separating me from you. And he just tells me, you are my child. You are not the child of depression. You are not the child of trauma. You are my child. And in that second, never felt depression and I never felt anxiety. It's been exactly 1 year. And let me give a context to my depression. I got diagnosed with MDD, which was major depressive disorder. So I was actually depressed for longer periods of time, more than the average person. So instead of it being like just ticking time bombs here and there, it was like it could have been 5 months to a year where I was just straight depressed every single day. And most of the time, it was most of the year that I was depressed. And I feel like I finally have like life to my face and purpose, and I'm just completely different now that I serve my God. And then I also realized, because I was asked this at a Bible study last week, but they asked like, how did you get your relationship to God to where it is now? And I said, by reading about him, by actually getting to know him. Every single time that I've talked to God before was just for myself. It was because I wanted to pass this test, or I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that, or I really wanted this thing to work out, or I really didn't want this to be an option of something to go down. And I always talked about myself, or even other people, like I want my mom to be able to do this, or my grandma health, like just things like that. But I never sat down and got to know the person that was blessing me. It's like, isn't that like rude? Like imagine you're like, let's just say who's someone random, like the delivery guy. Like, you're like, if you see him, you're obviously gonna say hi. Like, he's the one delivering your packages. And I'm not comparing Jesus to a delivery man, but I'm just saying that it's just rude to not get to know the person that's, gifting you these things. And he's blessed me so much with not only my heart but my faith, and being able to guide people. Like, it's truly a blessing in disguise to be able to talk to people and they listen. He truly gave me that gift. And I just stopped for a second and I was like, there's a whole world around me suffering. And I'm here depressed about what? Like, some boy or divorce or whatever happened. There's a whole world. Like, truly, truly, the world does keep spinning. But that doesn't mean your situation, your feelings are not valid. But be patient with yourself. You don't have to have all the answers right now. Truly, you don't have to. Just walk with faith. Just know that maybe you're not okay now, but you will be okay. You will be. So it's fine. And I feel like people who tend to have so much patience for the world around them, but so little for themselves and their own emotions. Like, I'm on to you guys. Like, we're on to you guys. Like, for please be patient with yourself. Please, please, if I can give you guys any advice, is be kind to yourself. Because I know the reason that you guys don't speak up is because you're embarrassed of how you feel. You don't understand your emotions. You don't know why you are the way you are. Be kind. Don't be mean to yourself. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know right now. No one's rushing. Who's rushing you? Who? Who? No one's rushing you. You're okay. You could take your time. You could figure it out. You could figure out your emotions. You can figure out what you want and what you don't want in life. You can figure out your career paths. All that stuff does not matter in the long run. That's not the big picture here. And your emotions, they are valid, but speak up, pray for them. Tell Jesus about those things that you're worried about. What are we worried about? Why can't you talk to? Why can't you pray for them? Why can't you pray about this test that you want to take, but you can't pray about your intrusive thoughts telling you that you're not worth it, telling you that you're not going to make it, telling you that you're not worthy of the world or of conquering anything or of building a life. You guys have to realize that this isn't our only life. We're granted an eternity of life with Jesus. He's granting us that. He gave us that gift. And we are focused on the wrong things. I remember I was so focused, and my emotions truly, truly depended on the men around my life and the men I would talk to. Like, if I wasn't in a good situation with the guy I was talking to, then that ruined my whole week. My whole week was ruined. And that's insane to me. Like, that's such a limited mindset for one thing to not work out. So everything is wrong. It's like, let's wake up. Please, let's wake up. Let's wake up. This is not what life is about. We have so much to live for. We have so much to learn. But back to my point. Once I stop taking the focus on just myself, obviously I'm gonna be depressed when all I think about is my life and myself and my this and my that, and this is due soon, and money, and all these issues. If I'm just solely focused on that, of course I'm gonna be depressed. That's all I'm thinking about, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Of course I'm gonna be depressed about it. So I just focused on other people. And I started praying a lot. I started playing a lot. Guys, there's someone behind me. But yeah, my video got cut short again. But here I am with the cat behind me. Guys, the enemy is real. He tried to delete like 10 minutes worth of this footage and muted my mic. So I, but I'll just start just feel like we're in a place, and especially now more than ever, like, I think we just need to come to a realization that we need each other, and we need to be there for each other and present, and we need to stop just focusing on ourselves. Of course your life matters, and the choices that you make matters, and they reflect on to you, and all these things they do, but that can't be the only thing that is in your head. That can't be the only thing that you live for, because you're making yourself your own god. You're making your life your own god, and that can't happen. That's when things go bad, and that's when you're disappointed. Like I said, like, of course you're going to be depressed when that's all you think about. You know what I mean? When that's all that you put your purpose to. If your life doesn't matter, if you don't have X, Y, and Z, of course it's going to feel like you don't have a purpose. You're never going to fulfill yourself, because you're just going to keep on going, and that mindset's going to keep on going. And if it's not this, and it's the other thing, and if it's not the other thing, then it's that thing. So it's just like, I think we need to come to a realization that we just need to start confessing to each other and talking about these things, so we don't feel so alone and don't feel so misunderstood, because truly we all go through these things, and I don't know why we don't really talk about it. It's like, we were created to live in community. It truly does take a village to go through half of the things that we go through. And without that support, it's like you're not going to God. Okay. You're not going to a therapist. You're not seeking help. You're not asking your friends. You're just eating all of that in you. What do you think that's going to create inside you? That's nothing good going in you if it's not coming out. You know, like it's, what are you going to stage it out, girl? Please. That doesn't work like that, okay? You need to confess to each other. And I think that's why I think I'm making this, because I want us wanted to create this space where we can all just talk and share our experiences and give advice to each other and judge free and just share. And I think that's like really what I want to build is a community where we can just talk and we can just be ourselves and we can make mistakes and we can be confused and we can ask questions and we can maybe even stray away a bit but then get pulled back because we have each other to ground each other and to lean on and to confess and to help and to understand. And there's no better feeling of sitting down with someone that truly sees you and sees you of not what you lack or what you're not, but sees you of who you want to be, of where your soul wants to be. And having someone that like understands and has been in your shoes and knows what goes on, that nothing in this world can relate to that, you know. And it's like, so having a human being, like being able to, we can only relate to each other, okay? You can't relate to a bird. Like, you can try, you can really try, but at the end of the day, we're always going to relate and connect to each other because that's what we were made for, to live unified, to live in peace with each other. In community is to live this life together, not against each other, okay? Unified. And we've been so far from that the last few years, like truly focused on completely the opposite of being a community. We've been focused on separating and fighting and arguing and disagreeing, and it's like people are addicted to that now. People are addicted to just finding the wrong in everything instead of just hearing people out and like just being like, listen, if you want to live that way, that's on you. If you want to go in circles in your life, that's on you. But this is the truth. And this is how you get to where I am mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, because I went this path. And that path that you were on, I've been there. I've done that. And I know it's not true. Instead of having conversations somewhat like that, we decide to have conversations like just hating on each other, having like kind of this competition of like who's the better Christian, I guess. Like, just so many different things. And I fear that what we need most is just to talk to each other and just to be there for each other and just listen, judge free, just sit down. Why can't we do that anymore? Why does someone always have to say their negative opinion? But you know what? It's fine. Let them truly let them. It's okay, because at the end of the day, your relationship with God has nothing to do with anyone else, and they will never ever hold power over that. No matter how much they want to, no matter how much they want to have a say, they are not God. They do not decide. That is between you and God. Okay? Don't forget that. Don't let it get to you. It's fine. Also, guys, I swear, like, I look so much better than this usually. Like, I swear I'm a baddie. But God just kept telling me to just film this. I don't know. I was like, but I don't know what to talk about. I don't have a topic. I don't have like an introduction. He was like, just speak. And I'm here speaking. So let me know. Let me go. It's like that. Let me know if I did good. Let me know. This is scary. But yeah, I'm just gonna figure out this whole editing thing right now and just chill, and I have work tomorrow, so it's time to go to sleep, guys. It really is. I've been trying to film this for the last 3 hours, but the enemy hears and he's present. Okay, so I rebuke any assignment from him on my life and on your guys' life, and I truly wish that you guys have a beautiful rest and find peace. And I finally get to say like and subscribe. Oh my god, like and subscribe if you love me, because I love you guys and I want to help you guys, and I want to be able to have a community to lean on too. That would be nice. So if you guys can, if we can just create that together, wouldn't that be like awesome? Like, wouldn't that be so cute? Anyway, love you guys. Bye.